because being together for a long time is like you guys have given each other years of your life, a portion of your life. So.
Hello mọi người, bây giờ là một buổi chiều thứ 3 và hai vợ chồng mình đang đi bộ ở xung quanh khu nhà. Và hôm nay trời thì rất là đẹp, bây giờ là mùa thu, cuối mùa thu ở đây rồi. Và đáng lẽ ra thì như bình thường thì hình như là trời sẽ mưa rất là nhiều. Mấy hôm nay trời cũng mưa như bão luôn. Cảm giác như gió mùa đông bắc ở Hà Nội ấy. Nhưng mà đến bây giờ thì trời lại nắng. Nên là mình tự nhiên nảy ra một ý định là khi hai vợ chồng đi bộ sẽ làm một video để hỏi, phỏng vấn anh chồng, anh Thêm.
Hello.
Về chuyện yêu xa. Mình đã làm một video về chủ đề yêu xa rồi, nhưng đấy chỉ là chia sẻ từ phía mình thôi. Thì mình nghĩ là chắc một chút quan điểm của một anh con trai trong chuyện yêu xa có thể biết đâu lại thú vị cho các bạn tham khảo. Anh sẵn sàng chưa?
Sẵn sàng.
Hôm nay mình sẽ hỏi anh ấy một số câu hỏi nhé. Quên mất, chắc bọn mình sẽ kể lại một chút về chuyện tình yêu xa của bọn mình. Cho những bạn mà chưa xem video trước, bọn mình hẹn hò với nhau ở Hà Nội được 2 năm, hơn 2 năm. Rồi sau đó mới bắt đầu yêu xa, anh Tim về Mỹ đi học. Và bọn mình đã yêu xa trong khoảng 4 năm, gần 4 năm. Trong đấy thì có 3 năm rưỡi là yêu xa khi còn đang hẹn hò. Và khoảng hơn nửa năm là yêu xa sau khi đã cưới. Bọn mình cách nhau 14 tiếng đồng hồ. Tức là buổi sáng ở mình thì sẽ là ban đêm ở đây. Vì lệch múi giờ ấy nên cũng rất là khó để chọn được cái giờ phù hợp, đúng không? Để nói chuyện hoặc là hẹn hò với nhau online. Trong gần 4 năm yêu xa thì bọn mình gặp lại nhau khoảng độ 7 lần. Một lần trong năm đầu tiên và đi vào trường một lần trong năm đầu tiên này, 2 lần trong năm tiếp theo này, và khoảng 3 lần trong năm thứ 3. Càng về sau gặp nhiều hơn, năm thứ 3 gặp nhiều hơn để chuẩn bị cho việc cưới. Còn đến năm thứ 4 thì là gặp trong khoảng được 3 tháng để làm đám cưới này. Sau đó thì lại phải xa nhau vì anh Tim phải về đi làm full time. Và vì dịch Covid cho nên là thời gian xa nhau sau đó bị dài hơn kế hoạch. Đáng lẽ gặp nhau sau khoảng 3 tháng thôi, nhưng mà cuối cùng kéo dài phải đến 6 tháng. Và trong thời gian đó thì mình có bầu. Em bé đầu tiên bây giờ đang có bầu 8 tháng rồi. Đó, thì kể một chút về chuyện tình của bọn mình, để chuyện yêu xa của bọn mình để cho các bạn biết.
I think the most difficult part about being in a long distance relationship is not having the physical intimacy and physical touch. I'm guessing Hoa probably already talked about this, but I think it's also the same from the guy's perspective. Every night, when you go home from work or school, you don't have anyone to talk with, especially if you have a wife and they're far away. But even if you're just dating, you can't go on dates or eat with them, and you're out of touch with their life, and they're sort of out of touch with your life too. Yes, I think this is a pretty common situation, and I experienced this when we first started doing long distance relationship. It had been just maybe a month or a few months, and it was just really difficult for us first being away for so long from each other and never having done long distance relationship before and having a lot of uncertainty about what our future was. And I think we got into an argument like over the long distance and how it was so bad, and we didn't talk for like a couple weeks, which is really bad because usually Hoa, I know she likes to call and talk a lot, and she's very very social, very happy kind of person. And so I just thought to myself, like, oh, this is terrible for her, and it's terrible for me. I feel like I'm not being a good boyfriend, and is this worth it? Should we break up? Maybe it's just better in the in the long run for both of us to just find other people or something, right? So I definitely thought about this, and I guess what I did is like I kind of wrote down my feelings. Like I wrote down in my journal or diary. Yeah, I wrote down like, oh, this is how I'm feeling. I don't know what to do. I even prayed about it, and I talked about it, I guess, with some friends, and I also just thought about all the reasons why we should stay together. And it turns out there's like a lot of reasons why I liked Hua in the beginning, and why I continue to love her, or at that point to continue to date her and like her, and a lot of positive things. And also it was also kind of like, let's just see how we respond and how she responds. Like, will it get better? Will the long distance get better, or if it just stay bad or get worse? So it was also like also depended on like kind of her as well, not just like how I feel or all my things, because our feelings can change a lot. So I was definitely also trying to be very kind of logical about it, like could we have a future together in Seattle or in Hanoi, and what would that look like, and how can we figure out if that's possible or not. And so these questions still unanswered. I still couldn't really say, oh, I need to break up, and we'd been together a pretty long time. So I think anything serious needs to be thought out. Like, if you're gonna break up, it's gotta make sure, because being together for a long time is like you guys have given each other years of your life, a portion of your life. So so in the end, I guess I would recommend people to really like think deeply or reflect on what their feelings, like why do they feel they need to break up, and like write it down or talk to someone about it, and also think about like all the reasons why you should continue together, and in general, like, you wanted to do long distance for a reason. What are those reasons, and focus on those. So I think to maintain a long distance relationship, you need to communicate. You need to maintain connection. And so you can do that in a lot of different ways, but it's very simple. You just talk to each other every day, or as much as you can. Other things to maintain are to have a plan for when it'll end, and have trips or vacations where you get to see each other. If the long distance, you don't know how long it will last. Of course, having dates with each other. I'm sure that there are lots of date ideas and things like that. Hua and I, we watch movies together and watch TV shows together a lot, and we would order food for each other and eat together. It would be like her breakfast and my dinner, or something like that. I think this is a really good question, and I think it's a common experience that a lot of guys go through, and girls go through as well.
Yeah.
I definitely experienced this when we were doing long distance, and I think the best thing to do is to
You want to turn around?
Yeah.
Or maybe go this way.
Let's go this way. Yeah. So I think the best thing to do is to really control your environment. You control yourself. So what I mean by that is to don't really expose yourself to situations that can be risky. Like, because this can also happen even when you're not doing long distance relationship, right? So you have to distinguish between just like a fleeting like crush, or you like somebody, but is that really what you want?
I think it's like it happens for other relationships too, but what I mean is that when you're in a long distance relationship, it's harder.
yeah, when you're in a long distance relationship, definitely harder, easier to get crushed into someone. And I guess what you need to do is to think about your own relationship, like all the good times that you had, and focus on each other. It's like a chance, an opportunity to be like, oh, we're drifting apart, let's focus on each other. And I definitely hung out with a lot more like my own friends, my guy friends, people I'm already close to. And yeah, I think if you're in a relationship, you should be headed towards a goal together, towards something. And so I wasn't looking for other girls, for other people to date or get into relationships. And if I did find someone I liked, I think I eventually tried to just maintain distance from them, like not get too close or too friendly to them. And I think that's what I would recommend to other guys or girls who are in a similar situation. So I have a lot of experience with this because Hua was often very sad during our long distance relationship. And I think number one thing is to be patient. So a lot of times when Hua would just call me, especially at night, and she would be crying and say like, I can't sleep, or I miss you, and I'm just Jan, I'm very tired of this relationship. And sometimes she would just call me and not even say anything. She would just make noises like oh,
That was a long time ago.
like very sad noises, like a sad animal. And I think for a guy, I would just say be patient and listen, and you don't have to try to like say, oh, things are okay or it's not that bad. Just listen. Don't even have to say anything. Very easy job. I mean, but don't just put the phone down and like play video games. But I would say you do have to listen to what she's saying and respond and try to comfort her, but not ignore or say that her feelings don't exist or don't matter, but really acknowledge like how she's feeling by telling her you see that she's feeling sad or she's feeling just tired of everything, and pretty basic, just try to cheer her up. So one thing that I would do is like send her pictures of our old dates. So when we like go to eat Japanese curry in Saigon, we'd send her a picture of that and we talk about it, or like all these memories that we had on my phone, like visiting the bird park in Singapore, or even things like in Hanoi when we would go eat like bánh xèo or nam lui. And so just talking and reminding her about all these things were so fun. Maybe every girl's different. I know Hua really likes to look at old pictures and talk about like old memories. And so just something to maybe whatever your girlfriend kind of enjoys, to get her mind off of the current situation. What other things were there that I did? Just talking to her, like trying to be connected to the things that we were doing when we were together. So asking about her friends and talking about her friends. Like she has some good friends like Sui or Tui or Thao, or even her Chao, and Thup Anh Hai, and just and it was fun to just hear about them and then talk to her about them.
Yeah, like you get yourself off your mind when you thinking about other people's problems.
Yeah. So we talk about other people's problems and her friends' problems. Everyone has problems. And other things to do when your girlfriend is sad. Call often, I think, or try to call prophylactically, which means like call before she gets sad. So usually Hua gets sad at night. So times I would try to call her before it got too late, because she would get very sad.
Strategy.
So I knew if I called her early enough, she wouldn't get too sad, or remind her about like activities she has coming up, like dates with friends, or she's going out to like meet friends, and usually she doesn't get that sad, so don't have to call her that night. But on days when she doesn't have anything, or the weather's bad or something, maybe she gets sad. and to be available. Like she'll call, and when she calls, try to pick up.
Yeah. And you will have to wake up early to pick
Yeah.
up my call.
Yeah. What else is there? Yeah, making plans for the future, like vacations, like let's plan our vacation. And I think that was also pretty helpful. Like we're going to go to Malaysia. We're going to see each other in Christmas, like in 2017, I think, or 2018. 2018 we spent Christmas together in Malaysia, and so we had a lot of fun like planning that in November, I guess, or October, and visiting or buying the travel books and planning and buying tickets and stuff. So that was fun. So yeah, planning stuff to get rid of the long distance helps a lot too. And overall, yeah, managing expectations, if you've ever heard that. Like, don't say, we're gonna see each other like next month or for sure. Just always under promise and over deliver. So like tell her, we might see each other in September, but you know for sure that you're definitely gonna see each other, but just say you might, so that so that when you do definitely see that, she feels happy. She's like, it's way better than I thought. And
I think one time you told me that like immediately when you get the result of your test or something, you would like fly to me right away. And that set an expectation for me. So you got the result, but you didn't fly to me immediately, and I got angry.
So yeah, be careful about what you say or your expectations. I think you should do it, but
honestly,
it depends. It depends. Not everyone should do it. Here's where I think people should do it. People should do long distance relationship when they've already had a time to establish a close relationship to each other, like physically close. So for Hua and I, we had 2 years together where we were living in the same city, and we got to see each other pretty much every day or every week. So I think you need to have maybe at least like 6 months of face-to-face time. I think because when you can start off a long distance relationship with a good foundation, it's more likely to be successful and to be lasting. But and that's just an estimate. It could be longer or shorter, or maybe, and I'm sure there are relationships that work out where they never meet, or they start off long distance and stay that way. But I think, at least from my opinion or experience, that having that initial foundation is really good, really needed. And a second thing, in addition to the foundation, is having some sort of end, like whether an end to the long distance. So you guys will reunite when they find a job in the country, or they make plans to move together, or get married, or study for their masters in that country, or it has to be some sort of plan. Maybe it's not totally definite, but it has to be a direction or a plan to a plan. Maybe you don't know how you get back together, but you have different ideas or plans on how to get that plan. I think those two are, in a nutshell, what I think, or for people who should pursue long distance.
Thôi các bạn, đấy là câu chuyện cũng như là chia sẻ và suy nghĩ của bọn mình về chuyện yêu xa. Hy vọng là những chia sẻ của chồng mình hôm nay, góc nhìn từ một anh đàn ông trong chuyện yêu xa, thì có thể giúp cho các bạn, kể cả các bạn nam hay các bạn nữ mà đang trong một mối tình yêu xa, đang gặp khó khăn, thì các bạn cố lên. Như bọn mình đã vượt qua được 4 năm và đến bây giờ thì thực sự cảm thấy rất là đáng ấy. Trong lúc mà chuyện đấy diễn ra chắc thì cũng nhiều lúc muốn bỏ cuộc này, xong rồi cũng nghĩ là mình sẽ không bao giờ gợi ý chuyện yêu xa cho bất kỳ ai. Nhưng mà khi mà nó đã qua rồi thì cảm thấy là như kiểu là mình được trả công cho những cố gắng và chịu đựng trong thời gian khó khăn, trong suốt thời gian phải xa nhau. Mình cũng làm một cái video trước về chủ đề này, chia sẻ của mình về những cái cách để cho việc yêu xa bớt nhàm chán. Thì các bạn có thể Nếu các bạn hứng thú có thể xem video đó. Và mình cũng viết một bài blog về cùng chủ đề này. Mình sẽ để link của bài blog đó trong phần description của video này nhé. Anh có muốn nói gì để tạm biệt các bạn không?
Yeah, I think long distance relationships can be really rewarding and really fun. You know, but always remember they're temporary, and you should always be trying to get out of it because it's way better to be close together. But give it a try. Like, you can try it and see how it goes. And if you guys are, sometimes people say if you're meant to be together, then you'll find a way to get together, and I think that can be pretty true. You'll find a way. There's always a way to solve any distance or problem. If you've done it right, then the reward for the long distance will be much, 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 much greater than the pain. Okay, that's it.
Gió to quá rồi. Bye bye các bạn.
Bye bye.
Okay.